You're going to love this. Washington Compost the other day. From now on, every government agency will have to consider climate change. The past several weeks alone, the Obama administration has made multiple new moves to fight climate change. The administration announced new steps to help fill U.S. roadways with electric vehicles. This is the phony utopia, what I call a meritopia. It ruled that greenhouse gas emissions from aircraft endanger human health and welfare. And on the international stage, it moved the world closer to a deal to phase out super-polluting HFCs, chemicals and refrigerants, and other industrial substances that warm the climate. Supposed to be a news story by Chris Mooney at the Washington Compost. But as Obama's term dwindles, what kind of language is that? His term dwindles? The act isn't over. This week, the White House released yet another policy to fight climate change, one with potentially far-reaching consequences. The White House's Chief Environmental Office, the Council on Environmental Quality, finalized a 6-year process of shaping how the government's agencies across the board will factor climate change into their decisions. The Council's new guidance involves what activists and environmental lawyers know as NEPA, N-E-P-A, one of those exceedingly wonky policies that is nevertheless critical to how the modern federal government functions. NEPA is short for a foundational 1969 environmental rule. The National Environmental Policy Act. You know, so much of what goes on in government, you have no idea what it is, no idea what they're doing. It's just incredible. It's not possible to know. All kinds of actions, ranging from granting a permit to drill on public lands to building a new road or bridge. So now, you see, ladies and gentlemen, through the Environmental Protection Agency, the Marxist left now, through regulatory powers, which were not granted to it directly, have all kinds of power over our capitalist system, all kinds of power over the private market. Climate change is nothing more than a massive power grab by the federal government under the rubric or nomenclature of climate change, affecting the air and the water for the purpose that anything goes in controlling the individual with this degrowth radical movement. And it goes on. NEPA hails from the Nixon era when Republicans were environmentalists. This is why I despise rhinos, by the way. When both parties actually agreed about environmental policy. You know what? It's gone beyond environmental policy. This is a propaganda piece, in my humble opinion, by this clown, Chris Mooney at the Washington Compost. No talk about the Constitution, no talk about separation of powers, no talk about private sector, capitalism, free will, no talk about what it's going to do to growth, wealth creation, how many more people will fall into poverty as a result of this. This is an anti-American policy. That's what it is. It's an anti-capitalist, anti-American, anti-private property policy. Nobody passed it in Congress. They just do it. Did you even know about that? If I hadn't told you, had you even heard about it? So frequent is the attack on our system and our liberty that it doesn't even make real news anymore. It's not even a scandal when they do something like this.